Guys, Leslie Chamberlain here. I wanted to talk today about weight gain and Lyme disease. A lot of times people with Lyme end up developing a lot of other things like hypothyroidism and adrenal fatigue and things like that. It's very, very common, and that's exactly what happened to me. Over the course of probably several years, once I contracted Lyme, my thyroid became enlarged, and I have some calcification. So, of course, I've been on thyroid medication. But over the course of probably the first 10 years that I had Lyme, I got up to 200 pounds. And it's not like I was eating wrong. It's not like I was, binging on things. There were, some emotional eating issues, yes. But some of that I think was trying to deal with the change in my life with being sick, with the pain and the fatigue. And I had very young children when I first got sick, and I was dealing with feelings of, I think, guilt because I just didn't think I was being a real good mom because I was just always tired and didn't feel good and was emotional and had panic attacks and was in the emergency room with crazy things going on, and I just didn't understand, and that ended up developing some emotional things that I had to work through. But anyway, long story short, I gained a lot of weight over the course of time, and when I realized that, of course, I was looking for ways to try to lose weight because of my pain. I didn't exercise. I couldn't exercise. I remember one time for like 3 months, I walked a mile around our neighborhood and it was flat. I walked a mile every other day for 3 solid months, and the pain never went away until I stopped walking. So any kind of exercise that would have allowed me to lose some weight or do some other things as far as toning and stuff like that was just totally out of the picture for me. I couldn't even rebound. I was out of breath, and my knees were hurting and my hips were hurting. And so I tried everything. I mean, I did Nutrisystem, I did the Master Cleanse, I did the egg diet, the cantaloupe diet, the coconut diet, the blood type diet, the body type diet, Atkins, and the most I would ever lose on any of those protocols was maybe 10 pounds, and I would always gain it back. So it wasn't until I started HCG just a little over 2 years ago that I was able to lose 75 pounds and maintain that weight. Of course, with the HCG protocol, which is what I love about it, it deals with emotional eating disorders and issues, and at the same time, it teaches us a new way to look at food. So that was obviously very good. But for me, with my Lyme, losing that 75 pounds was probably the best thing that I could do for myself. I know it's helped my thyroid. My glucose numbers are much more normal. They're not all over the place, whereas they were hitting, 175, 180 on occasion. Now I'm in that pre-diabetic range. I'm pretty much staying under 125 now. And I know for a fact that having lost 75 pounds of abnormal fat, I've also lost a lot of that bacteria that causes the Lyme, because the bacteria is a corkscrew bacteria, and it actually burrows into your tissues. It burrows into your joints. It burrows into your nervous system. It burrows into your brain. It burrows into babies, and that's why I'm pretty confident that my 14-year-old also has Lyme, because of the fact that it's passed through in utero, and it's passed through breast milk. So when it gets into those tissues, it produces a biofilm that's like a protein-based slime that it hides behind, and the immune system doesn't recognize it, so it doesn't know to attack it. So when I was losing that extra body fat, that extra tissue where these bacteria were hiding, it was releasing them into my system so that my immune system could do its job and eliminate them. So for me, losing 75 pounds has been a huge benefit to my Lyme. But obviously, I still have Lyme. Today I feel terrible. I've got this stabbing pain in my left eye. Obviously, I'm having some issues with my throat, which happens a lot. I get hoarse a lot. I'm having a lot of pain. I'm having some nausea today, so I really haven't even eaten yet today, and it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but then I didn't get out of bed till 11 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But um, anyway, Rounds 3 and 4 were especially beneficial for me as far as detoxing my Lyme. I didn't necessarily lose a huge amount of weight in those rounds, but boy, did I detox some Lyme, because I went for almost a year after round 4 where I just really felt good. My recovery time after physical activity was good. I was handling the heat pretty well. And I was maintaining my weight. I wasn't gaining any weight back. So my thyroid, I know, had to have improved, which the HCG protocol does improve your hormonal system. It improves your metabolic rate. It improves the balance of your hormones. I wasn't having to use progesterone for PMS and things like that. And I'm menopausal now, and I'm still not back on progesterone. So I know the HCG has done some amazing things in my body. But obviously, I still have Lyme. So I need to continue to detox, and I need to continue to try to clear that Lyme. So, of course, I continued 2 more rounds. In the last 6 or 7 months, I did 2 more rounds of HCG, and didn't do too well. Spent most of those rounds sick. Rounds 3 and 4, when I did a lot of really good positive detoxing, I know I was doing good detoxing because I, halfway through the round, would start to get my flu-like symptoms. I would start to feel bad, and it only lasted for maybe 4 or 5 days, and then I would feel great again. Well, these last 2 rounds, that did not happen. About halfway through the round, I started feeling bad, but I never got to that point where I was feeling good again. So I've decided I need to kind of move on from HCG for now and try to do something else to try to get some more of this abnormal fat. Once I get through the abnormal fat, then I'll work on the bacteria in my muscles, but in my joints, but we'll deal with that later. But right now I want to focus on that fat, because I know detoxing my fat, getting rid of that fat, detoxes my body of the Lyme. So anyway, for the last couple of months, or actually 4 or 5 months, I've been looking at this particular website. It's called the Bulletproof Executive. He is a Silicon Valley investor, and he has learned to biohack his body. He's lost 100 pounds doing an upgraded paleo, which is what he calls his protocol. It's an upgraded paleo where your body and your mind are bulletproof. Now, I will say about 10 years ago, one thing I did do where I was able to lose more than 10 pounds was paleo. The paleo that I did 10 years ago, I lost 40 pounds in 6 months. But because of I think because of the Lyme and the hypothyroidism and things like that, once I kind of went back to normal eating where I had added in grains and things like that, I immediately gained like 20 pounds back in the first 3 or 4 months. So I believe in paleo. Matter of fact, I tell people eat paleo and P3, and that's basically what P3 is. And the HCG protocol is a paleo style of eating. I always recommend people in my support groups continue to eat paleo style into P4. Paleo is basically like a caveman diet. If you couldn't hunt it or gather it, you didn't need it. So the paleo that I did 10 years ago and lost that 40 pounds was very strict. It was very lean meats. I had all kinds of non-starchy vegetables, and I ate them raw. No dairy, no grains, no agricultural products like potatoes and rice and things like that. And I felt great. I did do some detoxing then, but I didn't realize how much I was actually doing. Now that I've been through this HCG protocol multiple times, I understand how that toxic stuff and bacteria and this sick gets into your muscles and your fat, and you need to get rid of it to get yourself well. So because I'm moving on from HCG for the time being, I'm going to use his Bulletproof protocol. What he tells you to do is drink Bulletproof coffee, which is you want to get a mycotoxin-free coffee. I'll let you go to the website and research that. I'm not going to explain all that here. You can read. But you add to that coffee grass-fed butter and MCT oil. Now, I was using coconut oil, but I have now since ordered MCT oil because MCT oil is 7 times more concentrated in caprylic and capric acids over coconut oil. So I'm going to be using the MCT oil, grass-fed butter, and my Bulletproof coffee up until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm not sure if I'm going to follow the intermittent fasting protocol or if I'm going to do what he calls the rapid fat loss protocol, which is basically fasting food. You do nothing but the Bulletproof coffee until about 2 o'clock. You're drinking plenty of water. And if you get hungry, you salt about a tablespoon of your grass-fed butter and eat that. He said typically if you're hungry and you start eating that butter, you won't be able to eat a whole tablespoon. What you're doing is you're putting yourself into a hyperketonic state so that you're metabolizing, the fat in your body. So the intermittent fasting, however, is slightly different, whereas you're still eating or drinking the Bulletproof coffee up until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but you're eating Bulletproof foods from 2 to 8 and then not eating anything after 8 o'clock. And Bulletproof foods are basically the paleo foods, lean meats, lots of healthy fat like MCT oil, coconut oil, avocados, grass-fed butter. And then, as a matter of fact, the intermittent fasting, his Bulletproof protocol is 50 to 60% calories come from that fat. 30 to 40% of your calories come from the lean proteins, and then the remainder of your calories come from non-starchy veggies, which are all on his diet plan. You can see it if you look at it. Very limited, if no dairy at all. Of course, no grains, no starches, things like that. So I'm kind of deciding between whether I want to do the intermittent fasting or if I want to do just the fast and do nothing but fat for that time. But I'll see how I feel. It's really going to depend on how I'm feeling. I think I'm going to start with the intermittent, and then if I'm doing okay and feel like I'm not hungry, because the key between 2 and 8 when you're eating the Bulletproof foods is not to eat whatever you want as much as you want. It's not like fat loading, before you start P2 of the HCG protocol. If you're hungry, you eat. If you're not hungry, you don't eat. But if you are hungry, you eat the protocol foods as much as you want until you're satisfied, and you just eat between 2 and 8 o'clock. So I will be keeping you posted on how that goes. I read on his site, on his blog, where people who have done the intermittent fasting have been able to achieve a 10 to 14% body fat percentage. Right now, I'm at about 23%, and I would love to be closer to 19 or 20%. If I can continue, if I do well on the Bulletproof, which I've done well on Paleo before, and I do well on Paleo for P3 and P4 and maintaining, if I can continue to lose weight using his protocol, I will push myself and see if I can't get to that. Because I'll tell you what, if you can get to a 10 to 14% body fat percentage, you are extremely lean. This guy lost 100 pounds, no exercise, using his protocol that he shares with you on his Bulletproof Executive blog. Go check it out, read up on it, study it, research it. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be trying to do to detox some more of this Lyme. I'll be, doing my adrenal support in the process, my thyroid support in the process, making sure I'm drinking plenty of water and flushing out my system, and of course replacing my trace minerals with my Himalayan pink salt and some of my dirt that I eat. I use 3 different kinds of dirt. I use diatomaceous earth, French green clay, and zeolite. So between all of that, and then the collagen, which I use from his site, which is a great source of protein, I think I'll be able to do a good job. It's just going to be whether I'm mentally ready to kind of do nothing but eat fat and drink coffee. But the way I feel today, I'm in that position where I need to do something drastic, because when I get to feeling like this, it's again another wake-up call for me to continue forging ahead and detoxing this Lyme so I can get better. Just real quick on an end note, I'm reading a book that's a classic. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. It's called To Thine Own Self Be True. And he talks about being your real self, being your best self. And, when you're sick, when you're chronically ill, when you've got an autoimmune disorder or some sort of a disease, you're not at your best. And I know that the way God made our bodies, that if we will give them the necessary nutrition, they can heal themselves. And that's kind of what my focus has been these last 15 years, is to try to heal myself through nutrition, through supplementation, through just doing the right things to give my body every opportunity it can to heal itself. And I guess when I feel like this today, when I feel like all I can do is sit and watch movies, it really hits me, like a ton of bricks, because I'm not being the best I can be. I'm not, and not that it's my fault, not that I'm just sitting here being lazy, But I also know that, I've got people who depend on me for things. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother. I have responsibilities. And in the book, To Thine Own Self Be True, he talks about when that you are the most important thing. And it sounds a little haughty, but it's not. If I'm not taking care of myself physically, emotionally, and spiritually, I am not the best person I can be. And when I'm not the best person I can be, I'm not giving my best to other people. And our life is about serving others. Our life purpose is to serve others and to make their lives better as well. So anyway, I'm going to end with that. I'm over 15 minutes, but I'll keep in touch. I will do some videos as I get started on this Bulletproof Executive Protocol and see which one I do, whether it's the intermittent or the full fat fast. And I'm kind of anxious to see how it goes because I am really, really, really anxious to start feeling better. I hate days like this, and I wish they didn't exist, but they do. And I have to deal with it as best I can. And if you have Lyme, I understand the stuff you go through. I'm in the same boat you're in, but we can beat it. And it's just a process that we have to go through of experimentation, trying this, trying that, making sure we're taking care of ourselves and being true to ourselves. So until the next video, have a great one, and I'll see you soon.